We're recapping Manchester United's draw against the Chelsea Blues at Old Trafford. Manchester United won. Chelsea won. Ruud's Red Devils get a decent result against, they're not quite flying Chelsea, but they're certainly in better form than Manchester United were in the league heading into this game. I think they're in 5th place before the weekend kicked off. And United, we were more organized off the ball, on the ball. A lot of the same mistakes and same lack of cohesion continues to kind of prevail and suffer against this team. So United, I thought they played decently given the circumstances. They got up for Ruud once again. It's nice to get a point. We could have won it. They could have won it. Could have gone either way. Much better in the second half. Some decent performances from some of the defenders. And a point earned. On to the next one. How are we feeling about Ruud picking up a point against the Chelsea Blues of London?
Look, you got to grade on a curve. United have had the worst start to the English Premier League season in a long time. I think in history, at least, judging
86.
by
86.
But in the Premier League era, right? So it's pretty bad. Ruud can only try to duct tape over the cracks or paint over it to a certain extent. And what you see with this team is we looked a little more compact, but the attacking mojo just isn't there. And it's not going to be there for a while. And the glass half full take is, hey, you watch Sporting Lisbon. They got some attacking mojo, and they don't have great players. United has what I would consider some good players, some players with potential. Hold my beer for Xerxes, though. He's getting crushed out there in the streets as far as fans giving him a lot of guff for how he played today. Højlund, not sharp. Garnacho, same. Bruno looks to be catching a bit of form. So it's really the attack that's letting us down. The defense held. And the fact we were able to get a point and we didn't just give it away to Chelsea after conceding one, I consider it a win, right? It's like, it's not a loss. It's at home. Ruud's fist pumping. Everyone's having a good time. And let's just keep the vibes high and let Ruben come in and work the magic.
No, right. We're in the interim period right now. It's just trying to see in and out between the Dutch managers, handing it off to our new Portuguese maestro coming in a few weeks. And all things considered, could have got a lot worse. Obviously, United could have been a lot more effective on the front end of the pitch and gotten some goals today other than a penalty. You wish you can get some goals from open play. We had some chances, hit the crossbar a few times, but it's fine. Like you said, a little bit more organized. Press kind of fell off in the second half, and Chelsea did have their chances, but for a team that's just looking for anything, 14th in the league, pick up a point against Chelsea team who are in better form than you headed into this game. And now we've got some winnable games. We've got the Europa League tie on Thursday at Old Trafford. And then we have a game against Leicester again in the league. So opportunity for Ruben to have the ship steadied in his absence by Ruud van Nistelrooy, and then Ruud off to the sunset. There will not be a role for him, almost certainly, in the new look United side once the Portuguese crew shows up. He's bringing his whole side, all 5 of his boys from back in the day, and that's probably the right way to go given where we're at the moment. So Ruud, job done. So far so good. Let's get a win in the Europa League, and let's finish with 3 points against Leicester City next weekend.
And a quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils and you need that Muppet take because it's been a rough start to the year, but we're coming back strong with Ruben Amorim coming in to Manchester United. Check out our YouTube channel. You get everything that you get on the podcast on Spotify and iTunes, but now you get it in video, and we do extra United Muppet clips throughout the week. So please get there, subscribe, like, comment. Everything you do helps us get the channel off the ground. Also, check out our Patreon page. If you want to go the extra mile, support us. Our patrons are the MVPs. They enable us to do things like YouTube. Check out our page, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. Extra behind the scenes podcast episode every single month. We're recording our October episode. This weekend, we'll be releasing it on the Patreon page. We do a great mailbag. Shout out to all of our Patreon members. Also, check out our store, americanreddevils.store. Get your scarves, get your hats, get your shirts. Support the pod. We need it. It's been a rough 7 years. Check out our website, americanreddevils.com. Start talking about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews and 5-star reviews of the American Devils podcast wherever you listen. It's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself, and we're still giving away free merch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. Send a screenshot of the review to americanrevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and we'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. So those 5-star reviews, they keep coming in. I'm not sure we were 5-star today. Maybe 3.5. That's been in vogue at the moment. These 3.5 places. We're looking at them in London. We can't wait. Ooh, I tripped right around the corner in January. But let's get into it, sir. United 1, Chelsea 1 at Old Trafford. Let's get into that 11. Familiar.
All right, we had Onana in net, Delo, Delit, Martinez, Mazraoui playing left back under Ruud van Nistelrooy, Casemiro, Ugarte midfield, Garnacho on the right, Rashford on the left, Bruno in the hole, Højlund coming in up front. What do you think of this 11?
I mean, it's arguably the strongest 11 we have with injuries, so don't hate it. Let's go. Let's get a win. I think Casemiro and Ugarte are good, given how potent the attack from Chelsea has been. Sir, what were your thoughts when you saw this 11 from our new Dutch interim manager?
No, I felt like the standout is Højlund. He got rest midweek. He had to show up here under Ruud van Nistelrooy. We needed a big game out of him. When is he going to claim the number 9 role at Manchester United? We paid top dollar for the Dane. He is healthy. We need a big performance out of him. That's all I was thinking about this 11. Let's jump into it here. First half, how are we feeling?
So it was a cagey affair. It was a cagey affair early in the match, and the chances that they came pretty early for Chelsea. Chelsea had their earliest chance in the half. I believe it was in the 14th minute. They hit the post. Mudeke nods off the post, and Palmer blasted wide. So it was an early chance for Chelsea, but this was a cagey first half, and there weren't a ton of opportunities going either way.
Yeah, United, I felt like when Chelsea had the ball, they had the numbers running at us. Our attack was sputtering. I think Højlund, ball kind of came to his feet. He had trouble getting it out there. It's just not fluid. The chemistry in the front 3, front 4 for United is just off. It's been off all season. You can't get that overnight. But again, I did like the shape. We were more compact. But it did look like if anyone was going to steal a goal, it would be Chelsea. 47th minute, Bruno had a great ball over the top to Rashford, who blasted over the crossbar. Again, not our day from an attacking perspective. Second half, teams were more open. They were going for it. Chelsea, 55th minute, Neto blast a chance just wide. Good chance for Chelsea, but the difference maker in the 68th minute would be the Dane. Højlund gets a penalty for Manchester United.
And Højlund with a chance. Goalkeeper plunges, catches the Dane. Manchester United with a penalty kick.
This ball, what a beautifully weighted pass. He was a world-class player who struggled a bit here, but that ball has created the opportunity.
Manchester United under interim management, Stretford end, and the captain strikes them in front. And lifts the mood.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. We needed a penalty to get it over the line. Ruud celebrating on the touchline, what you love to see.
I was hoping this would be enough. Nice ball over the top from Bruno. I thought he was starting to get more effective. Obviously had some chances, didn't take the most of them other than this penalty, but good ball. Højlund, a little bit of a tough touch, but Sanchez comes out, makes a meal of it, and Højlund makes the most of it. So earns the penalty. I think it was deserved. Obviously leaning in, get that penalty, and then Bruno finishes, gets another goal. Need to see it. I just wish we could have held on and not conceded so early, but this felt like a game that was going to be decided by only a goal. Nobody had their shooting boots on today. And United, sometimes you need a penalty to nose up against the opponent. So I liked it. Need a penalty. Everybody was reacting the right way.
73rd sub Ahmad would come on for Marcus Rashford here in the second half. I do like the sub, but maybe you could have gotten defensive-minded here from Ruud van Nistelrooy. He kind of was going with the attack after scoring one goal. I don't know how you feel about that one. I just kind of felt, my question, you get one, could you steal it? Could you lock it down 1-0 at home at Old Trafford? And we would know, 74th minute, Chelsea would equalize. Set piece.
Palmer. And was Caicedo. The cleanest of hits. His first ever goal in England was against Manchester United.
All right, we know.
He's only scored one since.
1-1. And as far as finishing out the game, we do a double sub, Lindelof and Xerxes for Ugarte and Højlund. Xerxes would not play great, continuing his bad form. For the 23-year-old, he's young, but just not looking up to the pace of the English Premier League, sir. It's unfortunate he's getting clowned on socials. I don't know if it's you can write him off just yet, but United has a high bar, and I feel like we're not playing to his strengths. Why don't we see him play with Højlund in a 2 up front, or he could play that 10 role a little bit? I just feel like we're not using him the way he's comfortable being used, so maybe jury's out there. 93rd minute, Garnacho with a late chance to win it, but blasted over. I feel like Bruno had a chance to blast it over. We're really trying to put the laces through it. And then 94th minute, there was a red card check on a Lisandro Martinez foul. And that would be it. 1-1. United get the draw at home against Chelsea.
No, it's not a terrible performance. And if the attack was a little bit smoother and a little bit more cohesive, I think we win this game. Obviously, they had chances, but United was resolute in midfield. I thought we defended pretty well. I thought Maz was the standout for the game today. DeLitt continued to look solid. I thought Ugarte was decent. Again, not as good as he was midweek, but decent once again. It's just the offense. We look like we have no idea what we're doing. Xerxes was in a couple good opportunities. Even Højlund was. And the passes aren't coming fast enough. Even the Bruno pass to Garnacho wasn't coming soon enough. We got called offsides too many times today. And it just, Ruben Amorim, I'm hopeful he knows how to unlock this offense with the 3-4-3 everyone's talking about. Because right now, I think we can figure out the defense. I'm worried about this attack. And right now, a lot of pressure to put on Xerxes and Højlund. They got to step up. Højlund especially, Xerxes' first season, it's one thing to give him some time. Also, he's a 10. He's a false 9. He's not an out-and-out number 9. Højlund is second season, much bigger money, twice the money that you bought on Xerxes. So he's got to start scoring goals for this team because right now we're dying for goals.
Speaking of dying for goals, stats, 11 shots, 4 on target for United. Chelsea 12 with 3 on target. They had more of the ball in our house. Don't love that, but we'll fix that with Ruben for sure. But what do we know? Let's check in with the main man, Ruud Van Nistelrooy, looking good in the maroon turtle. I mean, seriously,
he knows how to look good.
This guy knows how to dress like a boss. There you go. That's part of the job description. Ill-fitting suits and puffy vests. Wouldn't recommend it.
I think today we're slightly disappointed because we didn't score the second one with the opportunities we had. And that's the feeling for me personally, and also in the dressing room, and of course over the last games that we played, we lost some points that we didn't convert our chances. The good thing always is the way I think is that when we create a lot, all through the season so far, and in that sense I'm not too worried. I think when the players are going to get in the flow of things with results coming and confidence growing, that goals will come.
Jamie. Enzo Maresca has said that Martinez's challenge of Carver was a quote clear red. Just wondered what you thought. Like, obviously Martinez will be booked.
Yeah.
What's your opinion about it?
I haven't seen it, to be fair. I saw it on the touchline, and I didn't. At that moment, I didn't see it as a red at all. I have to look it back to get a clear opinion.
Very good, Ruud. I didn't see it. If I'd seen it, I could have pie, but I did not see it. He knows that. I mean, obviously, he's up. His job is secure. His future's secure. He knows he's moving on in a couple weeks, most likely. So that's how you do it. We're disappointed in ourselves. We don't make excuses for the fact that we didn't score goals. It's on ourselves. We got to be a little more clinical. I like that. He sounds like a Manchester United manager, even though it's only truly an interim basis, but looks the part. Hope we could finish strong, get 2 big wins on the way out. And we did edge them. We edged them at home, barely, but we did edge them.
Yeah, we edged them in XG. X-Threat went to Chelsea. I think they were kind of knocking much more consistently than United. The field tilt would suggest that 58% to Chelsea. But the non-penalty XG shots, I mean, it's pretty even. Looking at like the shot map here in the final third, Chelsea, I felt like they could have gone on to win it, but I think the big intangible doesn't show up on the stat sheet is the fact that United when they gave up that goal under Erik ten Hag, they would wilt like a wet noodle, and they would concede 2 or 3 more and lose. And we actually held, and I felt like we were pushing for the winner late in the game. It looked to me like much more of a sustained effort over 90 minutes, and something you should see at home, because we were knocking there in extra time. It felt like Chelsea wasn't quite on the ropes, but we were asking questions, and they looked haggard. So I feel like at least we got that under Ruud.
Yeah, 2 games in a row, right? Because we conceded multiple goals to Leicester. We didn't fold. Conceding the goal today, like you said, the team, I think, responded better, if anything. I mean, the second half was much more exciting. Obviously, beyond just the goals, there was just a lot more going on. And United had opportunities to win it late. Bruno had a really good chance. Garnacho had a good chance. So United just needs to, like, calm down, getting those opportunities, and just, we always have a tendency to just try and smash it. Everyone on the team, Rashford does it too, Højlund does it. They all just try to smash it whenever they get a chance. So better, just showing a little bit of mentality shift. It's like this transition, you want to take advantage of any kind of like momentum you can. So getting better in advance of the new manager is certainly not a bad thing.
No, totally. But I'm not going to pull punches where Ruud is saying, we create all these chances. The attack looks so disconnected. It's not there.
I did.
Højlund is like, I like the youngster, but he had a Euros for a great Denmark side, didn't really play too well for them. He looks to struggle with the ball at his feet, like the ball coming into feet, decision-making, like not releasing the wingers as soon as he should. The upside to Højlund for me is Ruben is going to be looking for a man who can finish in the box, a poacher. That's what Højlund is, and we're going to play to his strengths. So I feel like Xerxes and Højlund are exposed because they have to play with the front three, and it's a little bit of hold up. It's a little bit of open space plus pace required in the role that we're currently set up in. And hopefully Ruben can congest it up front so that those two can actually just finish inside the box, which I think plays to their skill set a little bit. So hopefully we see Højlund and Xerxes like resurge under Ruben Amorim, because I feel like that's what he's looking for versus this kind of wide open style up front.
And I think we should see it. He has a tendency, his track record, at least coming into Sporting, it was a mess, and he got the most out of the players that he had available from the jump. Obviously, they didn't win the league right away, but that like the uptick as soon as he joined the club was pretty much immediate. So he's going to come in. There are a lot of players that we got to get the most out of, including players he's played with and coached. In the past. Ugarte is obviously a player he knows well, so I'm excited to see what he makes out of him. But like, not even just Højlund. What can he do with Garnacho? What can he do with Rashford and some of these other players? Bruno Fernandes, Dalot, just players that like, hey, you got the Portuguese connect. I'm excited to see what they can do. Mazraoui as well. So the future is bright. The manager that they're bringing in is super exciting. He's got a huge, huge task on his hand. It's a fucking mess. But the guy, he did say, he's like, I like it. He's like, I'm actually excited about United coming in because they're going to let me do whatever I want in terms of like crafting the team and playing whatever style of play he can basically figure out that's most effective with the goofballs he has sitting around Old Trafford these days.
No, it's going to be, I think everybody's excited for Ruben. He's the number one upcoming manager in all of Europe. And the Garnacho Rashford, like we play that front three, Garnacho and Rashford on the wing. They almost need to convert to wing backs, right? And that's why I'm saying, like, it's going to get more congested, like more players in the box with like a Xerxes Højlund 1-2s tight, and then finishing. I feel like that can play into their strengths. Like Bruno, I see being very successful. They're like, question with Garnacho, is he that type of player, or should he be on the wing? Same with Rashford. So I think all these questions that Ruben brings up with this squad are going to be really interesting. And I feel like you're going to see certain players thrive and others maybe not come along with Amorim, which is to be expected. But I really like to slate Højlund or Xerxes this season so far. I think is unfair. We got to see how Ruben can get the best out of him, but obviously the attack just hasn't been good enough across the board. Quick fan question, sir. We already did the PSA. Jumping in this one at Fairway Freddy, Garnacho and Højlund need a strong coach. Look, they read our minds. We have the best fans in the world. Ugarte is competitive but limited. We all wish Casemiro was 25 and not 105. The new coach has something to work with, but he will need time and signings, sir. Everyone needs time and signings, right?
Well, this guy especially needs time because we said it before, and I said it before. I think we're a little bit a little bit not quite ready in terms of where the squad is at, and just like there's still a lot of bluffers lingering around. But I think as long as United fans give him time, he will get it. But he's going to need time. He's going to need years. He's going to need hundreds of millions of dollars in transfer fees. Give it to him. Give the man what he wants. Let's just be patient because it's a project. This club's a mess. But he seems to have a good eye for turning ships around, sir. And our ship is headed in the wrong direction at the moment.
At Grifter10, speaking of the ARD fam reading our minds, sirs, we finally got 90 minutes of effort out of these players.
That's a good point.
And found out that they're not very good. I mean,
They did try.
We got 90 minutes.
No, that's a good point.
You know, like our football team's motto, 48 minutes. It's, you got to play you got to play the full game here. From the minute Maz stepped onto the pitch, he has been our best fullback by a mile. We need an injection of talent and IQ. Look, Maz is not the guy, but he is the profile of the guy, right? I mean, like you need, like I've always said Delo's a backup. In a really good team, Delo's not even on it because he can't do either at a world-class level.
Like he wouldn't be on City as a squad player.
He can't attack at a world-class level. He can't defend at a world-class level. In order to play at Manchester United, you need to be able to do both at a world-class level, right? So,
or at least one.
Maz can probably defend at a world-class level, but he can't attack at that level, right? You know, but he's good enough to do it now. He's good enough to be the guy for the next 2 or 3 years, right? Before we compete for the Champions League, etc. So I do feel he is right. We need an injection of talent. And the way that Sir Jim was talking about the team as well, I do think that our squad, we have an incomplete squad, number one. Like, we don't have a left back, right? Think about that.
It's November. We haven't had a
it's
fit left
Manchester. It's Manchester United we're talking about here, sir. And we don't even have a complete squad. We've always been having one hand behind our back. So it's going to take time. It's going to take time. At D_Cole18, 1 point versus Chelsea, still a result. Garnacho pulling a Rashford and going full ill to do it myself. Hero ball instead of playing smart, quick, simple passes. Slow to our attack multiple times today. This team either gives us effort with no plan or our tactical plan ruined by simple mistakes. Look.
Well said.
Garnacho didn't pass it. Rashford, the same thing. It's like Højlund had Bruno breaking. He like took too many touches. Bruno, the same. It's like
his passing was late.
Like Bruno squaring it to Garnacho on that one opportunity. It's just like too many I would say just too many touches. Whatever happened to one touch? Our attack is horrid, and that is not going to be the case under Amarim. So I'm confident that the number one thing he's going to fix, like the defense is serviceable right now. The attack is awful, and Ruben will fix that.
Well, you have talented players. I'm not worried about defense now when you have players like Onana, De Ligt, Martinez, Maguire, Lenny Euro's coming in, right? Even Maz is available. Obviously, we have no left back. We have no fit fullback. Luke Shaw is a lost cause. He shouldn't be like the long-term solution for this club. But up front, you have a lot of young players and then Marcus Rashford, right? It's like Marcus Rashford and then a bunch of youngsters who are struggling for form and confidence. And Rashford is struggling for his own form and confidence. So at this point, that's when the new coach coming in, he's going to give some new tactics, a new approach. Everybody gets a fresh start. I think the boys are going to be more confident because he's going to instill confidence in them, and that's why he's getting brought in.
At James Batari, Sirs Garnacho can only finish in cup games, and Xerxes looks like he's been hanging out with Luke Shaw and Malacia too much at Carrington. I still think United should have invested in a veteran striker instead of Xerxes. What's your take? I said the whole time, Baloney FC. He looks slow to me. He's not going to be able to hack it at this level, and he's Ten Hag's boy, so that's why we signed him. I mean, like, to me, there's no way. And I think, like Højlund, I think is serviceable. I think he'll get there as a number 2. I think he still needs a number 1. I don't see Xerxes playing at the EPL level. That's what I said when we signed him. Don't want that to be the case. I want him to prove me wrong. But just like I said with Anthony when he came in, you bought a winger who can't beat a man for pace, and it didn't go well.
Yeah, I mean, Højlund I have confidence in because I think he's like a natural striker and has the pace and is a good finisher. I just think he's young and we're expecting too much of him as like a 21-year-old, 22-year-old striker. Xerxes, I have more concerns around. Also, we signed a number 10. He's a 10. He's not even a number 9. Like, he can play as false 9.
He's not a 10 in the APL, though. Like, there's no 10 that's slow
but he's not a 9. So, either way, he's not. He wasn't playing as number. Hold on.
He was purchased as a 9. He was, I agree with you, but he was bought for
That's our fault.
Goals.
That's not his fault. That's mistakes on the buyer then, because he's been playing in that position for the last 5 years.
You can't say he's a 10 because no player plays 10
He was playing
like
it, but he was playing playing his 10 when we bought him. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yes,
We're
just because we expect to play him there doesn't mean that like that was a good mistake.
I would argue he played false 9.
Just
false
hold on
9.
a
He
second.
played
Okay.
false 9.
Okay. Clearly, in hindsight, we shouldn't have bought him, but we bought him. So what are you going to do? You're going to shit on him every time he plays?
I'm not shitting on him.
Yeah, sure. He needs time. Give him time, just like Hoyland needs time. And also, like, we're bringing a new coach in. You know, I would have hoped that Ruud van Nistelrooy could have gotten some scoring boots on these players. That's why I think Erik ten Hag brought him in. That didn't come out to be the case. This team needs to score goals. It's going to be on Xerxes, but also Rashford. It's like we need Rashford to score goals. We need Rashford to keep scoring goals, and Hoyland, of course, as well. But Xerxes, I don't think we should like get ahead of ourselves until next year.
No, I mean it's a tough signing. We're gonna see how he does. You know, like I said, I think his link up play is a strong suit, like you said, when it comes to possession. And let's see how he does under Ruben. I ultimately think that I'm not going to judge the attack until I see it under Amarim because he's going to get the best out of the lads, and that's what we need. Look, sir, that is it. That is the podcast. You like the American Devils? We are for fans by fans, sir. We are calling balls and strikes, giving you the biased Muppet take from the couch. 1-1 Chelsea draw. You love to see it. Support the podcast, americanreddevils.store, americanreddevils.com, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. Sir, give us our top 10 cities last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Chicago, Illinois, Charlotte, North Carolina, Brooklyn, New York, Dublin, Ireland, Los Angeles, California, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Melbourne, Australia, Houston, Texas, and Philadelphia, PA. Last but not least, appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. 2 more games left in the Ruud van Nistelrooy era before we transition to our Portuguese approach. But either way, we'll see you next week. We'll see you soon. We've got pods coming up thick and fast. 20 times, sir. Let's get 21 sooner rather than later. I need it.
Fancy times,